Vamos a abrir esta sesión vespertina que para la sociedad y para los que forman parte de la comisión delegada y la junta directiva, pues una parte muy agradable, porque no tenemos que valorar ni puntuar a nadie ni dar premios, porque los que vienen a hablar ya lo han recibido o lo van a recibir, que es el nombramiento de socio de honor. Dicho esto, y sin mucho más preámbulo, solicitaría al doctor Pablo Parente que haga una presentación del primer socio de honor nombrado y aprobado por la Asamblea General, el doctor Ricard Simo, de Londres.
Es para nosotros un placer ofrecerle este premio y pedirle que una vez más nos ilustre y nos dé una pequeña conferencia magistral para la obtención de este premio.
My talk today is about the current evidence of manejo of intratorácico goiters. So, as an outline, what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce the concept of what is an intratorácico goiter. What is the? I'm going to limit this to the scope of benign disease. I'm not going to talk about malignant disease. I'm going to talk about the evaluation, what for us is the best surgical approach and what's the techniques that we use. Talk about the outcomes and also give a summary and some future perspectives. So, and you can see here that there are kind of really different examples of this, and you can see that that all of these are going to be called intratorácico goiters, endothoracic goiters, retrosternal goiters. But you can see that they are different, and the approach is going to be different, and also the approach, the surgical approach should be probably fundamentally difficult too, or different too. Now, in terms of kind of basically how we approach, how we classify them, the British Association of Endocrine and Thyroid Surgeons, they have this very good classification. This was done by Huyns in 2007, and it stands into the British Association of Endocrine Surgeons in the registry. So when you do introduce your data, then you can put whether the goiter is actually retroclavicular, it's above the aortic arch and below the aortic arch, and that basically in a way will serve to analyze what is the risk for this patient. So this is actually something that is actually very useful, and it serves as a benchmark in terms of providing outcomes. And then in terms of the surgical technique, well, I'll explain that to how we do them. So first of all, I think we need to really have all the kind of modern armamentarium of surgical aids. I find very useful, obviously, the intraoperative monitoring in this case is having surgical loops, and especially with advanced age, you don't see in the same way the structures, and I'd really encourage these to the residents to buy them at the beginning, because I think they are really, really useful, especially when you dissect the nerve. Having basically all the micro-instruments as well, that can be very useful, and then having any power tools that you can have, it's also very useful. We have introduced a mediastinoscopy that allows sometimes to do some bits of the dissection through a mediastinoscope. It is my thoracic surgery colleague doing that. And then obviously now we have recently introduced the fact that we don't need to do midline full stenotomies for everybody. And then one thing that we have actually then tied up into that is the enhanced recovery program for this patient. So, but it is actually quite a kind of an engaged kind of process. So, in summary, ladies and gentlemen, surgery for intratorácico goiters is challenging. The thorough evaluation, preoperative evaluation is essential. It is important that you do have a very good multidisciplinary approach. The complications are comparable with non-complex thyroid surgeries, which is actually really very satisfying, and the outcomes are really quite good. I think they are excellent in experienced hands, but also in dedicated surgical teams. So this, of course, is still a lot of work to be done, and I think that's what we should all do. Thank you very much for your attention.